Thank you for tuning in to V News. You're watching the bulletins. Coming up next are our top stories.
Quảng Ninh steps up post-flood recovery efforts. Vietnam and the UK posted £1.32 billion worth of trade revenue in the first 5 months of this year. Bana Hills welcomes 1 million tourists in 2015.
Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng called for efforts to ensure the progress and quality of building draft laws and ordinances at a two-day meeting in Hanoi.
At a special meeting on July 27 to 28, Cabinet members discussed a program on building laws and ordinances as well as issuing documents detailing law enforcement. They also looked into 9 draft laws and ordinances. Prime Minister Dũng asked ministries and ministerial-level agencies to weed out shortcomings remaining during the process of law building. The draft law on association, the amended draft law on press, and the revised draft ordinances on market management should be submitted to the government for approval in the second half of this year, he said. The Prime Minister also stressed the need for relevant agencies to cooperate with each other to ensure the progress and quality of the work.
20 years ago, on July 28th, Vietnam officially became a member of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Since then, the country has made significant contributions to the development of the organization.
Vietnam's admission to the ASEAN is an important milestone in the country's process of regional and international integration, as well as the association's development. The country played an active role in the admission of Cambodia, Laos, and Myanmar into the association, completing the vision of an ASEAN inclusive of all 10 Southeast Asian countries. The country has proactively participated in the bloc's numerous cooperation activities in areas of politics, economics, security, culture, and international relations.
Rất nhất quán của chúng ta là
Vietnam pursues a consistent policy of boosting friendly ties, regional peace and security, enhancing economic growth, and narrowing development gaps among members. This coincides with and contributes to ASEAN's development policies.
Vietnam's role in defining ASEAN's targets, navigating its future development, and forming important policies is one of the country's most important responsibilities. The country has served well in the role of ASEAN president and hosted many big events. Trade agreements among ASEAN's states gave Vietnam better access to the region's markets and international markets, as well as opportunities to attract investment and enhance its international commercial links. Vietnam has advocated cooperation in the areas of ASEAN priority, such as social welfare, climate change, and protection of the rights of migrant laborers.
During the 20 years of joining ASEAN, Vietnam has made marked contributions to the development of ASEAN. The country's socio-economic and diplomatic achievements have helped raise not only its position but also the groupings.
Vietnam has become a proactive and responsible member of the bloc. With the country's increasing role in the region and the world, and with its efforts and political determination, Vietnam will continue to uphold its responsibilities.
The northern province of Quảng Ninh is accelerating its recovery efforts after a flash flood, the heaviest in the past 40 years, caused substantial property and human losses. An unusual two-day torrential rainfall hit Quảng Ninh province on July 26, causing estimated losses of approximately $9.1 million. The torrential rain killed a 27-year-old woman and her 2 children, while 9 other people were reported missing. The Provincial Flood and Storm Control and Search and Rescue Committee said early on July 28. The committee went on to say that this was believed to be the heaviest rainfall in 40 years. The committee's quick report showed more than 2,800 houses had collapsed and 143 hectares of crops and about 880 fishing cages had been damaged as of 9 a.m. of July 28. Vân Đồn Island District was identified as the locality that suffered the most from the torrential rain. On the morning of July 28, Quảng Ning's top party leader has asked all departments and localities to hold all their meetings and mobilize all resources for coping with torrential rains. The same day, the Prime Minister has sent a dispatch requesting a prompt move to overcome the aftermaths of the natural disaster and help local people stabilize their lives. Vietnam's Ministry of Labor, Invalids and Social Affairs and the TOA Institute, a Japanese General Incorporated foundation, have signed a memorandum of understanding on training cooperation in agriculture.
Under the pact, Vietnamese Chinese in the agricultural sector will see a greater chance to work in Japan's Hokkaido. Addressing the signing ceremony, Deputy Minister of Labor, Invalids and Social Affairs Nguyễn Thanh Hoa said the newly inked pact will stimulate the two sides' cooperation in agro-forestry fisheries, which is among the most prioritized sector in his ministry in terms of enhancing manpower quality. TOA Director Takebe Tsutomu stressed that Japan has evaluated the Vietnamese Chinese as industrious learners and hoped that the ministry will send more local experts and Chinese to Japan in a wide range of fields beyond agriculture.
Some difficulties relating to Japan's labor code are hindering our move to receive Vietnamese trainees in the agricultural field to Hokkaido. We have proposed some law amendments to facilitate our efforts.
Earlier at the talks, the two sides highlighted the request for greater affiliation in receiving Chinese and investment activities in Vietnam. Vietnam commits to providing Chinese fulfilling requirements from Japanese partners.
Vietnam and the UK posted £1.32 billion worth of trade revenue in the first 5 months of this year, climbing 7% from 2014.
The Vietnam Commercial Office at the Vietnamese Embassy in the UK said during the period, Vietnam shipped commodities exceeding £1.2 billion to the UK. Major export earners included mobile phones, footwear, garment and textiles, furnishings, machines, plastics, coffee beans, fruit, and children's toys. The Vietnam-UK bilateral trade has increased threefold in the last 10 years, from more than £800 in 2005 to almost $3 billion in 2014. However, the office said, apart from apparel and footwear, British consumers are rarely aware of other made-in-Vietnam products. The office continued to underscore the positive contribution of the Vietnam-EU Free Trade Agreement, slated to be signed in 2015, to trade between Vietnam and the UK through the elimination of several tariff barriers. UK interest in the Vietnamese market has been shown among local business communities and officials. UK Prime Minister David Cameron is scheduled to visit Vietnam on July 29th. In September, the UK's seventh richest billionaire Richard Branson will also make a trip to the Southeast Asian country.
Vietnam has attracted $8.8 billion in foreign direct investment in the year to date, an 8% fall year-on-year.
The Ministry of Planning and Investment reported in the first 7 months 1,068 new foreign projects with an investment of $6.92 billion received investment certificates, marginally up in terms of money from last year. What has dragged down the overall FDI figure is a steep 29.8% fall in capital augmentation by operational foreign companies, as 341 of them applied to bring in an additional $1.88 billion. Most of the FDI flowed into 16 sectors, including processing, manufacturing, and real estate. The Republic of Korea remained the top investor, followed by the UK. FDI disbursement in the past 7 months reached $7.4 billion, up 8.8% over the same period last year. Ho Chi Minh City was the most attractive destination, as $2.4 billion found its way there. It was followed by the neighboring provinces of Bình Dương with $1.11 billion and Đồng Nai with $1.1 billion.
The Philippines Food Authority has announced that domestic enterprises can now import an additional 293,000 tons of rice from Vietnam.
This is good news for the Vietnamese rice industry, which is currently experiencing difficulties due to the Chinese market reducing its rice imports and African states increasingly importing rice from Thailand. Since the beginning of this year, the Philippines have bought 650,000 tons of rice in total, with 450,000 tons originating from Vietnam, less than in previous years. Vietnam won a bid for supplying rice to the Philippines in a tender launch on June 5th with an offer of $410.12 per ton. Accordingly, 150,000 tons of rice with broken white rice accounting for a quarter of the order were shipped to the Philippines from Vietnam on July 15th.
A Peruvian Cuisine Week is taking place for the first time in Vietnam as part of activities marking 21 years of Vietnam-Peru diplomatic ties.
Peruvian Charge d'Affaires Luis Shuboyama said bilateral relations between Vietnam and Peru have developed considerably in politics, economics, investment and trade in recent years. The Cuisine Week from July 27th to 31st at the Hilton Hanoi Opera Hotel aims to bring Peru's culture and gastronomy closer to Vietnamese people. Two Peruvian chefs will share their experiences and tips on making traditional foods and dishes. Peruvian traditional foods and food products are on show during the event. A workshop to introduce two Peruvian functional foods, merqué and quinoa, will also be organized as a sideline event.
The Bana Hills Mountain Resort, one of the most popular destinations in central Da Nang City, on July 27th, welcomed its 1 millionth tourist in 2015.
The event marked a significant growth in the number of tourists to Da Nang City and Bana Hills, as in 2014, the 1 millionth visitor came to the tourism site in November. Bana Hills Director Đỗ Thị Tuyết Hạnh said with delight that the event reaffirmed Bana Hills as an attractive destination to both domestic and foreign holidaymakers. It is also a motivation for the site to improve its services and make it an ideal choice for visitors to Da Nang City. In the near future, the tourism site will organize a wide range of activities such as collective weddings and Halloween and Christmas festivals. As part of its Summer Festival 2015, a street music performance will be held at the resort every Saturday evening until August 15th. A band music contest will also take place from August 9th to 10th at the resort.
The central coastal city of Da Nang will be the team sponsor and the official Southeast Asia host port of the Clipper 2015-2016 Round the World Yacht Race.
David Cusworth, Director of the Clipper Race Crew Recruitment and Development, presented the details of the race and the expected benefits it will bring to the city. He shared the race will showcase Da Nang to the world through the race. The Clipper Race fleet is estimated to arrive in Da Nang in mid-February 2016. The race will kick off in August in London, to Rio de Janeiro of Brazil, Cape Town of South Africa, Albany, Sydney, Hobart and Whitsundays of Australia before arriving in the city and returning to London in next July. Đặng Việt Dũng, Vice Chairman of the Da Nang People's Committee, stated that the city is extremely proud to be the host port and team sponsor of the event. He added that as a young and dynamic city, Da Nang is willing to take on a challenge in the same spirit of all the sailors taking on the Clipper Race.
And that has concluded our program. Thank you for your attention. We'll see you again soon.